What's going on YouTube? Today we're here to look at the Galaxy Z Flip 3. This is the 5G and we're also featuring a mustard case. Let's take a look. So we have the Z Flip 3 here. I'm very excited to do a review on this, and so we're going to kick this off and go over the specs about this phone. So let's take a look and see what we have. So we have a 6.7 inch display and we have a weight of 183 grams, which is pretty light for this type of phone. Now we also have a main display at 2640 by 1080. Also, it has a 425 pixel per inch at an 120 hertz adaptive refresh rate screen to it. Also, the cover screen on the front of it's a 260 by 512 display, and it has a 302 ppi pixels per inch display on there. Now we're gonna take a look at some of the camera specs. We have front 10 megapixel camera. Also, we have two rear cameras. We have two lenses. We have a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and we have a 12 megapixel wide angle camera. So that's the camera systems that we have on here. Now also we are going to look at the battery specs. So we have a 3300 milliamp dual battery. The charging on it has fast charging for wired and wireless. Now the wired is a 15 watt fast charging, and it also has fast charging wireless at 10 watts. And then we also have the wireless power share feature on the Galaxy Z Flip 3 here. Now also we have a speaker surround sound system. We have the Dolby Atmos, and the speakers on this sound really good. We also have Bluetooth dual audio. You can connect up to two devices simultaneously, so it's an interesting, good feature. It's also IPX8. This is water resistant, not really made for pools or the beach because it is not dust resistant. And then last thing I want to talk about, we have a capacitive fingerprint sensor. So I want to go over the good things and the bad things. I'm just going to kind of spread this out throughout the whole video and just talk about everything because there's a lot to cover on this phone. So what you need to know is if you have a flagship phone right now, like a S20, S21, the Z Fold, if you have a Note 20, maybe even the prior Notes, I would not upgrade to this phone. This phone is priced at a flagship level, but it just doesn't have all the flagship features. It does have a lot of good things, and one of the things that's really good, obviously, is that it's a flip phone, and that is a really good thing. You know, that's the main feature of this phone. The flip portion of this phone is really good. So some of the other good things, you know, it's IPX8 now, it's water resistant. You don't have to worry about spilling something on it and frying your phone. It has better glass, and the hinge is vastly improved. It is really good. I really enjoy the hinge. The speakers on it, the dual speakers, sound really good, and the outer display is really good. And the always on display is very nice also. I do think that they could have made some improvements, but you know, we'll go over that. Now, there's a lot of things I don't like about this phone, and I just have to be honest about it. You know, you're paying $1,000 for this phone, so I am going to tell you what you're not going to get. You know, for $1,000 you should be getting all the Samsung flagship features, and it's just missing a lot of the features. So the first thing I'm going to bring up, of course, is the no charger in the box. It's very bad. You're just going to get a cable. Very disappointing in that. For that price and that kind of money, they could have included the charger for it. Also, this does not have an SD card slot, so you cannot use expandable memory on there. You know, with the good cameras on here, you really can make use of that extra SD card slot, you know, for the price. You know, the memory on it's very small. It's 128 gig to 256 gigabytes. You know, for the money, it really needs to have 512 to a terabyte expandable memory for the cameras, just for all the pics and video features and everything that you're missing out. Some of the other things that I'm not liking is the battery. That 338 milliamp battery, that dual battery, it is not good enough. When I was using it, even with a lot of features turned off and turned down, I was only getting like 4 hours of on-screen time. And I didn't even really want to turn everything down, turn off the refresh, the 120 adaptive rate, turn it down the brightness on there. I really couldn't enjoy it knowing that the battery was dying that fast. Also, what's really frustrating for me is that they did not include super fast charging. So you're only getting 15 watts plugged in and only 10 watts wireless. It's extremely slow. That is not flagship prices. Now, if this phone was $400 or $500, I wouldn't have a problem. We wouldn't even be talking about it. But you're paying $1,000 for a phone that's charging 10 watts wirelessly. That is not good. I can't apologize for it. I love Samsung devices, but when I see them stripping features down, and charging the extra price for it, I have to say something. Now, if you've never had a flip phone or you have a much older phone, this may be a good option for you if you want to get into that flip phone, territory. But you're losing a lot of features on here. The camera, it's okay. I mean, it's a 12 megapixel camera. It's a standard Samsung camera. It's not great. It's not bad. But the problem with the camera is the small storage sizes on the phone. So you're going to go around recording. You have your 10x zoom. You have 4K recording, not 6K, not 8K, just 4K. You couldn't even do the 6 or the 8K anyways. So show you this screen. This is a 1.9 inch display, and as you can see with the light hitting it just right, I want to show you have to touch on the exact screen itself. So when you're trying to wake it up and look at your notifications, if you touch around the edges, it's just not going to work. So I wanted to bring that to y'all's attention, and let you see and understand how that screen's actually working. Now, one of the big things that Samsung could have done was definitely made this half the screen, half the phone that folds. That should have been all screen. There's no reason why they couldn't have done it. So now you have a bigger screen and it works really good. But imagine what they could have done if they would have put the effort in to make that whole area a screen. Have been much better options. So there's a lot you can't do with this. You can't reply to a text on there. It's just simply too small. If they would have made that half the phone a screen, you could have been texting on there. You could have been doing a lot more things like viewing video and all the different things. Now what they've done with the little animations and all that, that's really great, but it kind of defeats the purpose. Again, it's just very limiting. It's fun to look at, it's fun to play with, but as far as how useful it is, it's not really that useful. I mean, you can get your notifications and things like that, but that's about it. The outer display, you have to open it up to reply. You can read the message, but you still have to open it up to reply. You still can't do a lot. They can do better. I mean, like I said, this is $1,000 phone. It should be better. There's no headphone jack. You still have to use the USB-C jack. They could have made this phone stand out even more by adding that jack. It's not dust resistant, it's water resistant. They can make that jack in there water resistant, so they're decided not to do that. Another thing that they're doing, there's no IR blaster, so you can't essentially use this as a direct remote. People that travel a lot, people that have a lot of devices, with the vid out, you don't want to be touching remotes in public places. So if you're out and about, you won't be doing that. The video wallpaper. Now, like on my phone, you can just record some video, capture it, and put it on there as your video wallpaper. You cannot do that on this. There's a lot of issues with a lot of games and software that have trouble with the cropping on there, and the size don't look right. I'll just kind of show you. One thing that they could have done, it would have been fun, is if you had like a Star Trek sound pop open when you flipped open your phone. For some of us, that would have been good. Another thing that they haven't done is they haven't added S Pen support on here. So, you know, for $1,000, again, these are features that you should have had. It's very thin, it's very light, which is a really good thing, but this is a slippery phone. This phone is the most slippery phone I've had in a very long time. I feel like I'm always going to drop it. Now with the case on there, it's much better. So those are a lot of things that I am disappointed with, but now there's a lot of good things too. There's a lot of good colors, very nice colors. You can get some Samsung only type of colors. You can get some, you know, with all the different carriers, there's like I think 4 or 5 colors, and then Samsung has I think three colors available directly when you order it through Samsung. You know, this is an extremely strong phone. It's very sturdy. It's got very good build quality. The new frame on there is really good. And when you're flipping it, you know, I'm pretty aggressive when I'm flipping it, so it doesn't feel like it's gonna break. I think it's gonna last a long time. And snapping it closed, the phone is a little tougher than the previous phone, so you know, you just can't like hang up on someone and just smack it shut, you know, because it, you know, it takes quite a bit of force, you know, so there's that, but it does feel really good. Now this phone would be good for someone, probably maybe like a nurse or someone, you know, that works in a factory that has limited space in their pockets or purse or wherever to keep their phone. So when this phone is folded, it'll easily slip in your pocket, and it's very strong. So, you know, that's something that's, if you're a nurse or something, you want like a really compact device that you can carry on you easily, or even if you wear a button-up shirt for the men, you know, you can just slip this right in your pocket, even your shirt pocket, and it wouldn't be too heavy, and it would fit in there just nicely. So, you know, with the displays on there, the displays are very nice. Also, to access the camera, you just double tap the fingerprint sensor and the cameras come on, so that's a very nice. And also, you know, there's a lot of camera modes. You know, this thing will record at 4K at 60 frames, so that's a pretty nice feature to take a look at. Now you know, trying to write on it with the S Pen, and there is no S Pen features here, so that's really disappointing. You know, like I said, flagship prices. You know, I love Samsung, but I don't like when Samsung doesn't give you the features of the other flagships and they charge you the flagship price. So to me, anything over $900 is probably considered a flagship. And for that kind of money, you know, everyone works hard for their money, whether you're paying for this monthly or you're paying for it outright. You know, you're overpaying for a lot of these devices. So when I see stuff like this, I gotta point it out. I love Samsung. I just think they should have done a little bit better job as far as the pricing on this phone. Another issue I have with this phone is the fingerprint sensor is on the top half of the phone. So if I open it up and I didn't previously unlock it, I have to reach all the way up. So I have to slide the phone down in my hand, and that is pretty frustrating for me. You know, I like the placement of the button on the Z Fold. So, you know, with the placement of the fingerprint sensor, you know, I find it very frustrating for me. You know, maybe over time I would get used to it, but right now it is pretty frustrating. So those are a lot of those features. I want to show y'all some of the gaming features on here, and we're going to take a look at some of this Asphalt Legends. And now it plays really well. Now some games there's issues with and check out some of the gaming capabilities. What's really nice is this phone actually plays games really well. Now as long as the game's able to crop this frame, it's going to look really good. There's no lag. The sound's really great on there. So, you know, if you're looking to buy this phone, you're going to have a pretty good gaming experience. I'd say it feels like I'm playing on my Note 20 when I'm playing this type of game, the same size. It feels very fast. There's no lag. There's no stuttering or anything like this. Now, I want to take a look at some TikTok videos just to show you how it looks on here, some social media. So you can see the screen's filled in 100% completely. At the top, you still have your notifications, you know, your battery, your connections and all that, your time. And then on the bottom, as you can see, you still have all your TikTok features there. but it does look really good on here, and it does, it compares pretty much to the Note 20 when I'm using it. So I really do enjoy that. It's kind of makes me feel like I'm using a full phone, even though this phone will just fold in half. So I think that's a really good thing. Now, oh, look at this dog. Nope, yep, there we go. The dog did it. So I wanted to show just another random game about the way it crops. You can see all this wasted real estate on here. Now this may be just a developer's issue, and then I want to show you another game that utilizes it on the full screen. So I try to show this game pretty much every time because I like everyone to have a reference when you're looking at the different games, so you can think back to the other reviews I did and you can see how those games look. So this is how this looks, and it plays really well. I do feel the crease on this phone. A lot of times it's just right in the middle. So unlike on the Fold 3, I do feel this crease much more. It doesn't bother me any, but I do want to show you that. Now, I think everyone should be exploring their phone. I know a lot of people don't explore there and check things out. So I want to kind of go over this Samsung What's New. And they put these on all their phones, and it's pretty much just a generic thing. So maybe not 100% of the features will work on here. Like it'll mention 8K recording and things like that. But, I do think it's important that new Samsung users take a look at this because there's a lot of good features. If you need a little mini timer, if you're out power walking or you're cooking something, you could just have a little mini timer, which is pretty nice. Also, you could share a file between your Android devices and things like that, scan your QR codes. So I'm not going to read through all these. I just kind of wanted to give you, just a little representation of what you would get as a new Samsung user. If you've been using Samsung for years, you might want to skip this. But another thing this Samsung device doesn't have that it should have for $1,000 is it doesn't have DeX. You can't use DeX wired, you can't use DeX wirelessly, so you can't plug it up to your monitor and use it as a full-fledged computer. For $1,000, that feature should have been on this phone too. So, I love Samsung, but I just feel like a lot of the features they've stripped off of this. I think it's like a $750 phone-ish, but really they probably could have been priced around $650, $675, with the features that are missing off of there. And, that's very unfortunate. Now, if you have an older phone, like I said before, and you want to upgrade and you just want that first flip phone, this is going to be a good phone for you. But if you're coming from a flagship device, I would not downgrade to this phone, and this is what it would feel like is a downgrade. I just want to kind of mess with the camera a little bit and show y'all what the camera looks like on here. Kind of take a look at that. Some of these cameras, the interesting thing about this is that you can prop it up like this and use it. Now, it's unfortunate that, you can't use the S Pen to take the picture with it, because then, that would have been really nice. Using the S Pen, set back and just take the picture. So, you ain't doing any of that. You ain't touching the pad with it either. So, but I just wanted to kind of show y'all it's no good, but it does take really good pictures. This is 12 megapixel camera. This has got all your standard Samsung stuff on here, so it's going to be good. You know what you get if you've bought a Samsung phone before. And if you're new to Samsung, you're getting a very high quality camera. It's not the best on the market, but what you do get is very good. It's dependable, it's easy to use. So this is the mustard case, and as you can see, it's matching the little funny guy there. In this case, it does feel very smooth, and it's got like a little protective padding on there, so it's not going to scratch your phone. Now this is definitely an upgrade for Samsung. Now they do it has a felt-like padding on here. This is so unusual for Samsung to have such a nice case. A lot of the cases I get from Samsung are junk, but this feels really good. I can tell you right now, this is going to protect the phone really good. It feels really nice. This is a high quality case, so if you're on the fence about buying one of these cases, this case is really good. And on the inside you can also see that it's got that padding also. It's kind of like a soft velvety feel to it, so I know that it's gonna help kind of cushion it, probably maybe when you're folding it. Let's see how it actually fits together on here. Now I do find it interesting trying to put these different cases on, but let's see how it goes together. Oh, it just clicks right on. This is really nice. I like this, and it feels really good. Yeah, it fits nice and snug. It's got its own buttons. It's super nice. Let's see if this just popped. Yep, just popped right on there. It feels really good. Nice and tight on there. And it really does. This is the mustard case. I do like this color case. It is definitely different. And then now the phone feels like it's got some grip. It's kind of like a soft rubbery feel. And it feels great. Now, with this case on, now I could flip it open. I don't feel like the phone's going to go flying out of my hand. It does. It feels really good, and it's nice and tight when you close it. Closes them gaps on that hinge. Look at that. It's completely covered up. Super nice. I am gonna kind of zoom in and kind of show you what the edges look like on this, so y'all know what you're getting into. Now this is a really nice case. Try to get this focused in here. There we go. Now, as you can see, there is edges on there, so none of the screen or even the little bevel points are going to touch. So this is all going to be case on case. So that is very nice. Very nice. Case on case, and as you can see, it's got a nice, like, soft texture to it. You know, it's firm, but it feels really good. And when you close it, it pops. And you can see the gaps on there, so it looks really good. Also, all the cutout points are perfect, so Samsung has gone the extra mile to make sure everything is perfect. You're going to have excellent mic recording audio, charging. The buttons on there are super nice. You have plenty of room for your finger. The on-screen looks really nice. Now, I already showed y'all where you have to touch, so we know how that's going to work. So, and it looks really nice. So I think they've done a good job with this case. I really like how well and how tight it fits, and how good it feels in your hand. The phone doesn't feel like it's going to fly out of my hand anymore. That's the worst thing about this phone. It's so slippery and so slick, you know, probably by design, but you will have to have a case on here. So, you know, just know that. This has been a really fun review to do. I really do love Samsung products. I do think that this phone's a little bit expensive for what you get and for what they've stripped out of it. But for what it is an excellent folding phone. You know, I used to have that Razr phone, flipping it open. It makes me feel like that again. So I really think it's a good phone. You know, I don't know if they're going to do a price drop on there or not, but, you know, like I said, if you come in from another flagship type phone, you know, I would wait. You know, well, you have this phone laid open flat, you can't get your notifications unless it's folded, so that's a real disappointment to me. You know, it's just another attention to detail. Maybe that's something they could have done. The always on display, it's on when it's folded, which is great. But when you have it opened up and laying on the table, you know, you don't get the display. So, you know, it's unfortunate. But, you know, that's just another little detail that, you know, I happen to point out. I'd like to tell y'all everything I notice about it. Some things that are kind of aggravating for me might not be aggravating for you, but, you know, without me telling you, you know, I don't think I'm doing you justice. Now, when I'm holding the phone and flipping it open, it feels really good. I don't think if I flip this thing, you know, 10,000 times, it would feel any different. So I'm very happy with that. But that is going to wrap it up for this review. I did want to show you guys everything about this phone. I do really hope this helps you make the right purchasing decision if you're thinking about this phone. Like I said, you know, if you're someone that could use that needs a folding phone and that needs that pocket space, this is going to be a great phone. Now, if you're someone that's got a Samsung flagship device right now, I may want to wait another year until they start adding some of these features to this phone and improve the battery life. You know, the battery life and the charging speeds and all that, those are some pretty big disappointments, so you may want to consider that when purchasing this item. And that's been my review. Appreciate everyone. You know, take a look at some of our other videos here, and thank you for watching.